Hey everybody, this is William from the Godzilla Files coming at you today with a new collection video. And I wanted to take today to look at my ever-growing Godzilla figure collection. Last time I did a video like this, it was over 2 years ago, and my collection was pretty small, believe it or not, but it's been growing ever since and in a lot of different ways. It was mostly X Plus originally, but now I have a lot of things like Giga Brains, Bandais, so I'm kind of excited to show off these figures in general and just kind of let you guys know what I've been collecting. Now, some of you might have already seen a lot of my video reviews on these figures, but you can always go into my channel if you're interested in learning more about the figures that you see on here. And if there's a review that I haven't done on a figure that you'd like me to take a closer look at, just let me know in the comments below. But without further ado, let's look at these guys. Alright, and here is Keira from Tokyo Sos. I decided to pick him up because I actually have Godzilla from the same film. It is my favorite film from the Millennium series, believe it or not, and I just felt like, I wanted to complete the set, and this guy looks really good. And honestly, I'm pretty impressed with the figure overall. Now, going down, you can see here, we got the Godzilla Tower in the background, one of my favorite figures. I did a review on that. The gold and silver and red Godzilla, love it. This Gigan is definitely one of my favorites. Again, he just pops, so I love that about him. I love the clear vinyl or plastic, whatever they used. Then my Godzilla figure here, which is great. In my last video, I talked about how he was signed, so that's always a great thing. And then I have the jumping Godzilla from one of my favorite Showa films, Invasion of the Astro Monster. So this was a really great moment, and I really liked picking that up. Now, if we kind of go here, we can kind of see some of my other figures. I have Mechagodzilla here on the left. I love using the brain piece on him. I just think it helps him stick out. I have a lot of Mechagodzilla figures from the Showa period, and this is the only one that has the brain piece. Godzilla on the trike, really cool. Been wanting to pick that up since I've seen it, and I was able to get it for a really good price. And this one here, Godzilla with Ebra, I just saw it one day and I really liked it. It's something unique, and I've never really seen too many of them, so I really like that one. And here is the Godzilla Defo Reel from King of the Monsters, and overall it's really good. I really like it a lot. I have a lot of Defo Reels around the room, but I put him here for now because the blast here, he can't really go too many places. And then I got a little King Ghidorah that my roommate found. Here is the Mechagodzilla set that I just did a review on. Love these guys still. I think they're great figures. If anyone can pick them up, I would strongly recommend it. And finally, I have some Mighty Morphin Power Ranger figures. This is something that I kind of collect on the side. Pretty big fan of the Power Rangers, believe it or not. So, these are all little things. I haven't really done anything with them when it comes to my channel, but maybe that will change in the future. I'll kind of start adding some Power Ranger stuff if people would like to see that. And right here, you can see a Godzilla battle map. I actually got this online the other day. Pretty excited to hang this. I actually have a couple of pieces of art that I really want to hang up around the apartment or in my room. And, this is definitely one of them. It's really cool. I might do a closer look at some of the artwork that I have in future videos, but just kind of give you guys a little sneak peek there. But all right, so that is one shelf. And here is my X Plus shelf. Really excited about this, to kind of go through this. Last time I did it was about 2 years ago, so there's been a lot that's changed, and I'm going to touch on everybody on here. So let's kind of jump right ahead and look at Gigan from the Millennium series. The Millennium series isn't one of my favorites, but Gigan is, so I definitely wanted to pick him up. He is really cool. This is the reissue version that came out about a year or two ago. Here is the Sakai 91 Godzilla. This is probably the best Heisei Godzilla figure that I own. Just perfect in every way. I can't wait to match him with the Mecha King Ghidorah whenever that decides to come out. Here is Batra. This is one of the few figures that when I bought it, I wasn't a big fan of the kaiju itself, but after the figure, I really started to like Batra. This is such a cool figure. It is massive, I have to say. I don't know if you can tell, but he is super long, and honestly, he's just big. Takes a lot of space on the shelf. And right next to him is Destoroyah, another shelf hog, but honestly, he's so impressive. This is the Rick. I do have his first form somewhere in the room. I gotta find him. I had to put it away because it breaks so easily. And honestly, this is a great looking figure though overall. Here are my two basically original X Plus figures, King Ghidorah and the Showa Gigan. The Showa Gigan, believe it or not, is the first X Plus figure I own, and both of these guys are my favorites. I honestly do love love this version of King Ghidorah. I know the other one that just came out like about it last year, I think it was. Very cool looking, but I just like the dynamic pose that they have for him. And for all the 25 centimeter Gigans, to me the 30 just works. I don't know what it is. I just think maybe it's the pose that they have him on. I don't know. It's great just overall. You know, I just love the way he just pops, and I think it's so suit accurate to the film that it's perfect in nearly every way. Alright, and here we go down to my Space Godzilla. Surprisingly enough, Space Godzilla seems to be getting harder and harder to find, especially the 30 centimeter, but he was actually one of my originals as well, and I love him. I think he looks great. I think he's definitely better than the 25 centimeter. I will say this, he is a shelf hog with a lot, just like a lot of the Heisei, I would say, but he's definitely massive, as you can kind of just tell. Look at those thighs. All the way in the back between all these guys is Fire Rodin. Unfortunately, he gets the short end of the stick right now. I am going to buy a new shelf, but until I do, he's kind of going to be stuck in the back there. I like the figure overall. Fire Rodin isn't one of my favorites, but honestly, they made a really great figure of him. Here is Guerra. Again, another Heisei figure. I never got the original Showa. Guerra isn't one of my favorites, but again, I wanted to complete the whole entire line with him and Space Godzilla. And here is Biollante, and underneath her is the first form of Biollante. Now, this figure is huge. Let me take a step back so you guys can kind of tell. She is massive and takes up so much space. You know, it's crazy that this is a 25 centimeter because you can almost put it next to some 30s and she fits right in. It's truly a stunning piece. I hope they kind of do a larger Rose figure. Right now, this is the only one that they've made, and it's a Rick Extra. But, you know, hopefully in time we'll get that, because I think that would make it for a really good 30 centimeter figure. And here is the new Super Mechagodzilla. This is the one that had like the damaged paint app. And overall, it's very nice. You know, I definitely double dipped for this. I had the standard originally, but I really wanted the Super version. I think this is what I kind of think of when I think about Mechagodzilla from the Heisei period. So I just felt that this was a perfect time to pick him up. Alright, now going down here we have Mechagodzilla and Titanosaurus with Munga. Now this Mechagodzilla is from Terror of Mechagodzilla. This is the standard, and honestly I think I say this every time I talk about this figure. It's one of my favorites, but I wish I went Rick. I really want that brain piece to kind of be able to do the whole entire look. But again, this is still a great X Plus figure, even if you go standard. Titanosaurus in the background, he is one of my favorite kaijus, and I don't think he gets enough love. I think they did a phenomenal job with it. I know some people think the 25 is a little better, and it's coloring and it's scaling and everything like that. But honestly, I think this guy looks amazing. Here is Munga. This guy was definitely one of the tough ones to find. You know, Munga is very expensive if you try to go after him, so just be aware of that. But honestly, he's great overall. You know, he's a huge figure though. As you can kind of see, he takes up almost a whole entire shelf by himself. All right, moving right along, we have Kong, we have Ghidorah, Kamacuras, Paragon's head, and Ebra. I think this is like a perfect combination of guys that I really like randomly. Kong 62 is one of those figures that we'll probably never get anything from for some reason. It's just the way they are, but here's hoping. But for now, this figure works out wonderfully. Now, this is the 25 centimeter Ghidorah. This, to me, is actually better than the 30 centimeter. I think the paint apps and just kind of some of the things that they do actually just makes it look a lot better. This Ebra here is the Rick option. One of the best Ricks that I can think of. You know, you can't go wrong with him. I love the whole entire, like, water base. And that's the way we kind of see him throughout the whole entire movie. So I love keeping him like that. And it also helps save space. And Kamacuras is one of my favorites. When I was a kid, you know, I might not have been a big fan of Son of Godzilla, but the Kamacuras praying mantis, you know, large monsters were always really cool to me. So I definitely picked one up. I know the Rick option for these were like another 2 figures. I didn't need 3, so just 1 was enough. Alright, and here we have the Godzilla like allies shelf. So you have Godzilla here. This is mostly like kind of like a Destroy All Monster setup, minus, you know, like Jet Jaguar here in the background. This is the 30 centimeter Jet Jaguar. You know, like him. I think he's good. You know, pretty standard pose and everything like that. We got Rodin in the back being held up by probably, I think, Baragon here, and also Jet Jaguar, because, you know, he just leans. And we have a Mothra here from her original film. And we got the 30 centimeter Minya. And here we are with another couple more allies. We got Gorosaurus, Manda, Firaon, and we have Anguirus, and we have Mothra flying. I actually really like the Mothra. This Mothra is a great looking figure. The egg with it, you know, it just works out perfectly, and it fits so well when I do set her up with my 30 centimeter Godzilla 64. Firaon was one that I wanted to pick up as well. You know, he was one that I was missing from my set. I was looking for the other one, the one that was kind of crawling, the one that just came out, but I actually got this for a great price, so I figured, you know what, let me go with this one. Anguirus, Godzilla's classic ally, you know, just really good. Manda just came to me. I gotta find a good spot for him right now. He's kind of actually very hard to pose just because of how you kind of have to do it if you want him facing you. And Gorosaurus here. This is another great kaiju figure that I think a lot of people slept on, and now people are going crazy looking for him. I love the paint apps. Everything about him looks great. And honestly, it's just a really good dinosaur overall. All right, and here finally are my Godzillas. So I have my Burning Godzilla here. I have my Godzilla Tokyo Sos, like I was talking about. Godzilla from Terror of Mechagodzilla. And I have the Sakai GMK Godzilla. All great figures. I think they kind of represent different Godzillas, and that's why I kind of picked them up. They're all different from each other. You know, I don't want the same Godzillas over and over again. So this is all like a perfect blend. And finally here on the bottom shelf, you know, again, this is my final set of Godzilla figures. So I have the 89, the 64, Final Wars, and 62. Again, some of my favorites here. 89, especially, along with the 64, are two of my favorite suits. You know, they're from my two favorite films. And you can't go wrong with the King Goji suit. There's just something that's so great about it, in my opinion. You know, yeah, so these are my figures. You know, my X Plus figures, or at least the main set of them. But if I come around here real quick, there's another piece of artwork here, which I really like. But here are some of my Defo reels. You can see Rodin Ghidorah. This is the 84 Rick. And then I have a glow-in-the-dark Mechagodzilla, along with Homer as King Kong, which is one of my favorite Simpson references throughout the whole entire thing. So yeah, you know, these are all my figures overall. I hope you guys enjoyed kind of going through a look. Like I said, I'm gonna probably do another collection video for my artwork and things like that. But for now, you know, I leave you with, you know, just looking at these guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below, are there any figures that you want me to talk about in a little bit more detail? I have no problem doing that. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Talk to you all soon.